Sports fans, PB&Z Sports Chaos. And PB, look, in this day of virtual everything, I am virtually tailgating for the OU game, which is on at noontime today.
There you
Yes,
go.
sir. All right, before we talk college, let's talk a little NFL. Last weekend, the Bills were dominant against the Pucks. Josh had 6 touchdowns in that game, but then they lose to the Texans Thursday night. What do we make of the Bills?
I know. And that's I've been contemplating that question in my head over the last couple days. Is it really the Bills just not being able to be consistent week in and week out? Or did the Texans just bring it on defense? Because the Texans defense, I mean, I think you have a case now for Will Anderson to be defensive player of the year over Myles Garrett. I mean, if he keeps playing that way, those two guys are like neck and neck in my opinion. But yeah, I still don't have the answer. I wouldn't want to play Josh Allen and the Bills in the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say.
You mentioned Will Anderson, but Myles Garrett right now is on pace for 24 and a half sacks. That would beat the phony record by Michael Strahan, which we want to see eviscerated, right? Just wiped out, just evaporate that thing because it's a phony record. Thanks to you taking a false sack. All right. What's your other takeaway from last week? You gave me a couple before we started.
Yeah, I mean the Jaguars
Me
against
too.
the Chargers, man. I mean, again, what kind of Chargers team is showing up here? I'm just not sure. I know they desperately need to get Omari and Hampton back, and he will hopefully be back after this week when they're on a bye. But that team just looked like they were in shambles. And I said the same thing: is the Jags defense formidable and that good, or were they just flat that day? And
So is it an indictment of the Chargers or a testimonial to the Jags?
I'm going to say at this point it's an indictment to the Chargers because I don't think the Jags can. I don't think the Jags can go deep if they make the playoffs
Okay.
at all. I mean, all it takes is another loss and a win by the Chiefs, and they're not even in the playoffs. So, I'm going to say it's more of an indictment on the Chargers.
Well, you just mentioned the Chiefs lost last week, right?
Two in a row.
Are they out? Or do you think they bounce back and do enough to get in? We're going to pick their game in a minute, but
Well,
what do you think?
yeah, I mean, it all comes down to. I mean, they're back at home against the Colts, who right now are holding that 3 spot, winning the division. If they can't win at home against a real team like the Colts, I will have my questions. I think they're in a lot of trouble. If they win this week, it changes things dramatically. Things are going to change week to week between now and the end of the year. It's the way things are going to go.
By the way, your Detroit Lions, who you had as the best team in the NFC, and says Dennis, what's his name? I forget his last name from was used to be a coach in Detroit, I think. Detroit is not who we thought they were. Or the Vikings. He was a coach of the Vikings.
Yeah. Dennis Green, I think his
Yeah,
last name
Dennis
was.
Green. Yeah, Philadelphia. They won the game, but there's a lot of noise in the city of Philadelphia right now. And guess who? It's on AJ Brown taking the brunt of it. It is now Jaylen Hurts that's getting criticized by the fan base down there. Is
Yeah.
that is that deserved?
Yeah, it's very well deserved.
Okay.
This team to me is a one and done in the playoffs type of team. They're going to get to the playoffs. They're going to play a Seattle or Tampa or somebody like that, and they're going to lose. I can just already feel it. This team is not a they're not a whole team. I know you like Philly. I don't see them. They're just too flat.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Well, we're gonna pick that game in a minute in Dallas. Hey, obviously there's a couple takeaways last week. The big things, Jamar Chase. What the heck? Why are players spitting in people's faces? I don't get it, right?
Yeah, yeah, and
That's
you lose
it,
a
it can't be a 1 game suspension anymore. It's gonna be like 3.
Yeah, yeah, and remember when you get suspended, you lose your paycheck for that day too. So, that's a what $1 million mistake, maybe. I don't know how much he's getting a year, but maybe not maybe a $500,000 mistake. I just think it's stupid, and you're hurting your own team. I mean, this team has got a huge game this week against the Patriots. Joe Burrow might be
Make me
back. We
back.
still don't
Yep.
know that. And that division is lame. Like all you got to do is win a few games and you're back in the race. And now they don't have their best player. I think it's just stupidity.
Wait, the guy holding them together right now is a guy you told me no way. Joe Flacco, right?
Well, I mean, if you call 3-8 or 3-7 holding the team
Yeah,
together,
it's not him though. When you're averaging 30 points a game, he's averaging 30 points a game right
but
now,
but
over
what
300 yards. It's
but,
not
but
him.
what's the goal? The goal is to win football games. If you
He's
can't
not
win
losing
football
though.
games,
So my point is, he's not losing them.
he's
It's
not
the
losing them. All
defense.
right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And by the way, Shador is going to start today for the Browns. He came into the
Well,
fourth quarter and had the worst quarterback rating in NFL history, I think, something like that. We're going to see the real Shador, I think, today, right? Can't wait to Sunday, I mean, right?
yeah, he was getting pressured. He had no idea what to do. He was just, I mean, all you got to do is just bring an extra guy on him, and I think he'll get flustered. Um, And I think Dylan Gabriel looked, I mean, he didn't look like any type of superstar, but he looked like he was holding the team together a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
You know who I'm excited to see as a rookie who's played a game or two is Tyler Shuck. That
Yep,
guy,
yep. For the
he's been very,
Saints, yep.
I know Rattler was your boy, but it was time to move on from Rattler and give this
Yeah,
kid
I
a
agree.
chance. And I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you. By the way, I work with a guy, his son is a coach down in the New Orleans Saints. He's on the staff. And he says, Show is the real deal. He goes, my son says he just throws lasers all around the practice field.
Yeah, yeah. Should be fun to watch. And Dart's out this week too. While I'm on the subject of rookie quarterbacks, Dart's still out. He's going to miss
Yeah.
his second consecutive game. So, but this rookie class was one of those question marks coming into this year. Like, how good were they? They obviously weren't as good as the last year's class with all the studs that came out of last year. But this year's class is starting to kind of, get into the mix a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yep. All right, let's make some picks. You ready? Colts play those aforementioned Chiefs in KC, which is basically a playoff game for the rest of the season for Kansas City. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we just prefaced this a little bit with the importance of Kansas City needing to win this game to stay in the hunt. I mean, they're sitting at 500. They go under 500 after 11 weeks in the season. You're in rough shape. And Patrick Mahomes has never lost 3 games under his tenure. Um, and I think going back home, I've seen I've seen glimpses of, the Colts not bringing their best game. And given the fact that Kansas City does have a good defense, I think they can hang in this one. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game, and I don't think it's going to be a blowout on either side. I think this game ends under a touchdown, and I'll give it to the Chiefs at the end of the day.
What's G Money got on this one?
He has the Chiefs as well.
I still want to pick the Colts. But everything you just said is accurate and probably is a positive. But man, the last point you made about it being a tight defensive game, if it goes that way, the difference maker is Jonathan Taylor, who I still think is the MVP of the league, and he might make an MVP move this week if the Colts were to win. But I'm going to go with Kansas City as well.
Yeah, but I don't think either of us will be surprised if the Colts win. But
No.
what we're doing, it's going to be a historical game because, like I said, Patrick Mahomes, whatever years in the league, never lost 3 in a row. But you got to
Yep.
go with the odds. You got to go with the odds and take the Chiefs. So, okay.
All right. Pittsburgh goes to Chicago. Rodgers got a broken wrist, left wrist, on his throwing wrist, but he supposes he's going to try to play. I don't, right? You know what? Chicago's been playing well. I know another buddy of mine said they're about to choke once, that the good streak is going to end for them. But I don't see that in this week against Pittsburgh, not at home.
Yeah, me too. I'm right there with you for those same reasons. G Money too. So clean sweep on that one.
Vikes go to Packers. This is another kind of quasi playoff game, especially for the Packers. They cannot afford to lose. A team that both of us thought after the trade for Micah was probably Super Bowl bound. Or I did. You thought Lions all along. What do you think of this game?
Yeah, this one's kind of tough to pick because it's yeah. I mean, which version of JJ McCarthy are we going to see? I mean, he hasn't really. He's had quarters within games where he's looked very, very good. Um, but I watched a couple of the Vikings games with the quarterbacking, and there's been a lot of drops too. He's putting the ball where it needs to go,
Yep,
and people are dropping it. So
that's true.
I'm not sold on him not being able to, take this team and do good things with this team. So I'm gonna stick with the Vikings in terms of their abilities to bring a good game. But they're going to Green Bay, despite the fact that Green Bay's been up and down too this year. They've played some great games
Very
and some
much
bad
so. Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Um,
As the
I
kids
think
say, 6-7.
yeah. I think Minnesota hangs in this one. It's a tight game, but in the end, I think Love pulls it off and they win. Now Jacobs is also a question mark for this game too. We don't know if he's
Yes,
playing yet.
that's a big thing. Yeah, yeah. Who's
Yeah,
G Money like this one? I got Packers as well. Who's G Money like?
he does too. So far on the first three games, we're all three the same.
All right, here we go. Philadelphia goes to Dallas.
Yeah.
And of course, I love the Cowboys. But they're not showing me enough on defense to think they can win this game. I got to go Philadelphia. But if Philadelphia loses this game to the point we just made a few minutes ago, Philadelphia fandom is going to go nuts. Jaylen Hurts will never be able to go out of his house for the rest of the season at this point in time. He'll have to have Uber deliveries done for all his meals. What do you think?
I wish this game was next Thursday on Thanksgiving. I'd probably take Dallas just because it's Thanksgiving. But because it's not and it's this week, I'm going to take Philadelphia. I think, you look up and down the roster. I still think Philadelphia is strong despite what I said earlier. But luckily, they're playing a defense like Dallas where they actually can put up some points and score some points because their offense has not shown me enough to beat a team that has a good defense. So that's the reason why I'm taking Philly. And G Money has Philly as well.
All right. But that's another game. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. All right. Here's another one. Man, these are tough games this week. Tampa Bay goes to the Rams. The Rams right now, I think, are probably the best team in the NFC at this moment.
Yeah, and for that reason, I think Tampa is just something about them lately. They're kind of
Yeah,
falling a
they got
little
too
bit.
many injuries. Godwin's out still, I think, right? Or maybe he came back. I can't. No, he didn't come back
No,
last week.
he's out.
Evans is
out.
Evans is out for the season. They've had injuries on the offensive line. What they're getting done is a testimonial, to my man over there, Baker. So, but I got to pick Rams.
Yeah. And let's not forget too, Bucky Irvin's been out, and no one.
That's I knew it was another one. Yep,
Everyone
correct.
thought he was going to be back this week, and they had the bye last week, so here they are coming off their bye, and no Bucky. I think it was them that had a bye. No, they didn't because they
Tampa
played
Bay
last
lost
week.
to Buffalo last week.
They lost to Buffalo. Never mind. But at any rate, he's not playing still, and that's another big miss for them. But yeah, Rams to me right now are a top. They're like an NFC Championship caliber team. It's at LA. I got the Rams all day. And this is the one G Money's different than on us. The only one so far. He has the Bucks in this one.
You know what? I don't know that Baker loses consecutive games, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I got to take the home team here at this point in time. The fact the Rams are rolling and much healthier.
Yep.
All right, last one. This game on paper should be a blowout. Carolina goes to San Fran, but Carolina's been sneaky good over the last few weeks. What do you think?
Yeah,
they beat the Texans a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they have been, but they're also like up and down too. It's kind of weird. But I think San Francisco's playing. Purdy's back. Kittle's like just ripping it up right now. I'm going Niners in this one.
Home team as well. I'm taking the home team. Who's got G Money got?
G Money has the Niners too. So basically, me and you were the same. So no gain, no loss on our head-to-head standings for me and you this week because we have the same picks for all 6 games. G Money only has one different, and that's the Bucks game. So we'll see if he can gain on us or not. Yep.
All right, man. All right, college football. We'll make some picks, but last week, my Sooners with a huge win over Alabama. And yes, I did not pick them. I just couldn't take that risk. We'll see about today's. Their defense is legitimate, man. I'm loving them. But PB, I got to ask you a question. Oh, the other thing, we talked about the Heisman guys last week, some of the front runners. And we said that kid Marcel Reed could be an outlier. He goes and wins a 27-point deficit, comes back from a 27-point deficit, Texas A&M, to win last week. So he showed a lot of moxies. But one of the guys that's not getting enough love is, ironically, named Love, Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame. I love the way that kid plays. He's going to be a top 5 pick, I think, in the NFL draft. Anything else for you that stood out in college football going into this week 13?
No, I was going to bring up the Notre Dame blowout of Pittsburgh if you didn't, but yeah.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, speaking of Notre Dame, though, I got one pet peeve for you. Notre Dame is ahead of Miami in the college football playoff rankings. Miami beat them head to head. They have the identical record right now. In my mind, head-to-head win counts, right? At the end of the day, Notre Dame, it came down to those last 2 for the playoff. Miami has to get the playoff position if they finish out, with the same record the rest of the season. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, Man, you got to look at the wins and the losses. I mean, Miami lost to a Louisville. Miami lost to, I, and look at Notre Dame's
Head to
loss.
head matters. If head to head didn't matter, then what? Why play the games, right? At the end of the day,
Yeah,
head to head
yeah,
matters.
yeah. That'll be a tough call.
Yeah. All right, let's go. USC number 15 goes to Oregon. Their game day is live there. I've been watching since 4:30 their time. Kids are out there at Oregon. Place is already packed. They're a 9.5 point favorite in this game. It's basically a playoff elimination game for both these two teams in the Big Ten. What do you think?
Yeah, points in this one. Um, I- I've seen
Nine
USC
and a
play
half
two
Oregon.
games. It's 9.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're giving me points with USC, like I've seen a few USC games. I like the way they've played. Oregon's it can be a beast too. I know it's out of Oregon, but 9.5 seems like a lot to me. I'm going to go with USC in this one with the points.
USC has the best offense in the Big Ten. So, having said that, even though Oregon I think is third, I'm going USC to cover Oregon to win for sure, though.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, and you're going USC to cover though.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. And G Money has USC to cover as well. Probably think
Yeah.
Oregon would not cover, so I think we're in the same boat there. Same pick across the board.
Number 22 goes to my soonest, number 8 in the country. This is an elimination game, most likely for OU. I think Missouri's not in this at all, but never know. But it's a 7.5 point game, and I hate those half points when it's around the touchdown level, right? 6.5 or 7.5. I did it last week. I picked against OU. I should pick against them this week, but I can't do it. I'm picking OU.
Yeah, well, it's going to make a trio because I have OU as well and G Money too. So
Okay. All right, BYU goes to Cincinnati. This is a Big 12 elimination game. I can't believe I'm saying that both these two schools are in the Big 12, but they are. BYU's a 2.5 point favorite. What do you think?
I'm going to take Cincinnati in this one. I'm going to, they're at home. It's only 2.5 points, right? They're favored 2.5, or they're getting 2.5. They
They're
get
getting 2.5.
they're getting 2.5 at home. Uh, G Money has BYU, but I'm going to go the other way with Bearcats on this one.
I'm going to go BYU as well. I'm probably going to regret that, but I'm going to go BYU.
Okay.
Okay. Goes to Georgia Tech. You just mentioned Pitt getting blown out last week. It's a 2.5 point game. Georgia Tech is favorite in that one. Georgia Tech barely escaped BC last week, 2 point win, which I think they probably should have lost that game. And the week before, they had a tough game against, I'm now drawing a blank, I think it was Wake Forest. I am going to go with Pitt to cover with the points. They're getting two and a
Yeah.
half. They,
Yeah.
they lose by one.
Okay. G Money has Pitt as well in that game. I'm going the other way. I don't know if Pitt can bounce back from that loss last week. I mean, ideally, you think they would be able to, but they still got to go on the road, play a very good Georgia Tech team. So I'm gonna lay the 2.5 on this one. Take Georgia Tech. So
Okay.
you're the same as G Money across the board. I have those last two different than the two of you. So an opportunity to gain on me because um,
All right, we'll
you
see, man.
you both within a game. Yeah.
All right. Enjoy football this weekend. I'll talk to you soon, brother.